Yo, what is going on, everybody? This your boy Sean, aka Puff Comics 83, and we are back. We had some technical difficulties because we just came off of daylight savings time over here in the U.S. So,
Every fucking year. It was even like checking here. Okay, time change here is not until like I think next weekend, so everything should be fine. And then just being down, I'm just watching the Arnold Classics UK, and like checking your phone is like, hey, did you get the link for the stream? Like, huh? Like I'm checking. Like, what the fuck? I even set like the alarm so I don't watch too long. And was just about, hey, let's make some tea for the stream. And like,
the stream already started over here. I'm just waiting. Oh man, daylight savings, you gotta love it.
it's like it's not the first time, not gonna be the last time.
But we are talking a movie that I am excited to discuss.
Yes.
Angel Heart, 1987. This movie, like, just rewatching it, I was like, it gives me chills just going through this whole film.
Yeah.
And the story, the quotes. Like, I really wanted to use majority of Robert De Niro's quotes because I felt like those were impactful. But damn, stream y'all won't allow me over 50 characters, so I was like, I'll go with the little joke of Lucifer's name.
I didn't have time to pick a quote. I just jumped immediately online.
But man, this movie right here, and I had to use the soundtrack, the Harry Angel song, because the score is unsettling as fuck. It really enhances the movie viewing.
And you have a fantastic mixture of a soundtrack and the score. Like you have really great jazz songs in there.
Oh yeah.
And this movie, I remember the first time I've seen it. I think I was 15 or something, and it ran, I think, like at midnight on the TV station, and it hooked me immediately. So I didn't really care how late it was, even though it was a school day next day. But this movie like really pulled me in, and it's one of these fantastic movies that have a really amazing twist ending. However, it doesn't rely on the twist ending because you can rewatch it and rewatch it and rewatch it over again, because the atmosphere and the characters are just so perfect.
I agree. Like, I was around that time that I first watched it, and my reasons are different because, of course, you got De Niro and Mickey Rourke in this film, but you also have Lisa Bonet.
Yes.
And growing up, I grew up off the Cosby Show, and she was a big part of that show. So when I saw that she was in the film, I was like, "Oh, Lisa Bonet's in there with Rob De Niro and Mickey Rourke. Let me check it out." And of course, this movie came on about 12:30, 1 o'clock at night, so I had to keep the volume down because I'm trying to sleep and watch it. And what caught my attention was just how the film was cinematography wise.
Yes.
The setting, the noir, even the New York shots. Within the first half, it was shot so dark and grim. Like they always shot it in the day where the sun wasn't out. It was always foggy, or it was always like had this gray tone to it. And one shot that really being my New Yorker in him was when he was at Coney Island, and you see the background of the Wonder Wheel. And it was like, I never got on the Wonder Wheel because I was like, I don't want to be up that high in life. But I just love the cinematography throughout the entire film.
Absolutely. This movie, and also this is also why I upgraded into 4K with HDR. This movie, the first time I watched it, it was so visceral. You can really feel the atmosphere, and you could feel the cold in New York, and you can feel the heat in the South. You can feel like the sweat of the people, and like in HDR, like the whole setting, like all the details in the background that pop so well. Like visually, this movie is also this movie is a masterpiece in every sense.
I agree. And from storytelling, acting, the pacing, like some people will say that it's very exposition, but I felt like it was well done to the point that it
Yes,
didn't overwhelm you with the exposition, and you're paying
exactly.
attention to the details because you're invested in this story of is Harry Angel going to find out where Johnny Favorite is?
Exactly, and who's like killing the people? Is it this mysterious Louis Cipher, or who does these murders?
And
And
immediately when you see De Niro's Louis Cipher, you immediately see that this character it does not look the way he's
yeah,
seen.
and let's just say the name is a little on the nose, but it works, of course.
Even your name is a dime store joke.
but yeah, and what I also really like about this movie is that it works on so many levels. When the first time I watched it with 15, it was of course the occult that drew me in. Fantastic occult thriller, along with The Ninth Gate, the best occult thriller I think that was ever done. And when I rewatch it later, also already being like a student of history and also having an interest, of course, in history of other countries, is that this movie also really has a very, and I have to say what I've seen so far is a very accurate portrayal of racial relations within the U.S.
Yeah.
So
this movie is set in 1955.
Yes. So. Hey, Big Remo.
Hey, leave it to Remo to come in here with the big comment right there. But this film, the setting, both in New York and in Louisiana, and the time period of the 50s really like elevates the movie up from just your normal movie. It's that noir / occult / horror film, and again, like the story hooks you into it. Like Louis Cipher hires Harry Angel, played by Mickey Rourke, and he wants him to find this person named Johnny Favorite.
Johnny Liebling, yeah?
Yeah, Johnny Liebling, aka Johnny Favorite, who's a crooner.
Which favorite means Liebling in Liebling is German and favorite means Liebling in English. So it's actually like an accurate trailer.
I'm gonna say favorite.
Yeah,
because he's Louis Cipher's favorite person to track down.
Exactly, and if anybody watches the stream and hasn't seen the movie yet, stop now, watch the movie, because we are talking spoilers, and this is a movie that you really want to go in not knowing anything the first time. Like I say, knowing the twist is still a fantastic movie, but you really should experience it the first time, because like I said, it's probably one of my favorite twists in movie history, along with The Strange Rise of Mrs. Ward, which is a movie gonna have to talk in the future.
And the one thing I enjoy about movies like this is that it lends itself further into rewatches. That way you can pick up the clues throughout.
Yes, and there are clues there, and it's just it's. And like you said, like we're not gonna talk spoilers now. It's one of the most awkward sex scenes.
Oh, we gonna dive into that, because that probably was the most controversial part of the entire film.
Yeah, it's a fantastic sex scene. This is one of these sex scenes that could be done by Verhoeven, because Verhoeven is the master of the sex scene. Because when Verhoeven uses a sex scene, it is to drive the plot forward. It's not just there to be sexy, etc. No, this is also a sex scene that is relevant to the plot and very relevant to the characters, and also very relevant to the revenge tour of one Louis Cypher.
Yeah, because he planned it all out.
Yes, and I think this is also why it makes it so fantastic to rewatch, especially when you know from the beginning that Louis Cypher, Lucifer, is hunting for the soul of somebody who cheated him out of the soul. And of course, this movie is also based on a very, very famous myth within music, the crossroad. You don't see the crossroad deal in there, but it is a play on the crossroad deal that a musician is giving his soul to become a popular musician. So
that, which was also a story reference in the Hellblazer series. One of the characters I remember, that was a big part of his soul to soul, just to gain the music popularity.
Yeah, and of course it all harkens back to Robert Johnson.
Oh yeah, yes, yes, Robert Johnson.
Which is so funny because I wrote a paper about that at university about how Crossroad. We had this wonderful seminar about history of jazz and since because jazz and blues are very close, I said, hey, can I write about Johnson and the history of the Crossroad deal? So that was very fun. And this is also what I love this movie, because this movie doesn't mention Johnson or the Crossroad deals, but it's clearly based on this myth, and this makes it also even so much cooler.
Yeah, because that's the one thing about the occult and the whole mythology of Satan, is that once you fall into that path of making a deal with him, you're stuck in that contract, because Satan will make sure he will be fulfilled. And once you try to back out of it, then it's hard to evade Satan.
Well, so just say Johnny Favorite should have challenged him to a rock-off.
But yeah, Harry Angel is just your normal, down on his luck private detective that gets hired by Cypher to hunt down Johnny Favorite. And at first, he's this might be not my type of thing, but he agrees to it. And the whole thing with the doctor and trying to figure out why Johnny Favorite is no longer in this mental facility, it was quite intriguing.
It's a great, it's also a great detective story.
Yeah. And once he gets there, he finds out that he has illegal drugs in his refrigerator, and then he investigate and interrogate him. And the doctor's he's kind of flabbergasted and caught off guard now that he got his back against the wall. He start giving up information, and Harry's rest up. I'm gonna go get some stuff, and then I'm gonna come back. And then when he come back, he sees the doctor's dead. So automatically, you oh, what? Who killed him? Who snuck in there and killed him?
And there's another thing. Also, all the gory scenes in the movie are so well done, and they're really well done. To a point where this is where it's realistic and it's not silly, and absolutely love it. Also with the doctor, it was also very visceral scene, and and this is also then when the next lead goes south, because we're going voodoo, baby.
And one thing I know is you take a native New Yorker down to the south, it's never good. You are completely out of your element. And before he even went down there, he was going to back out the deal with Cypher. He was like, nah, this ain't for me. And then Cypher, he gave him more money. And what do we do when you offer more money? I was like, oh shit, 5,000? I'll keep doing it.
And especially 5,000 in the 50s economy.
Yeah, so it's the devil knows how to play these tricks to keep you into his hands. So offer more money, you can't resist that, you can't turn it down. So he stays involved in the case, and that's where it goes to the whole Lucifer manipulated and guided the whole thing, because he knew what he was doing, and he knew how keeping Harry involved in it would get the results that he wanted.
I mean, Louis Cypher already knew how it ended.
Yeah, he knew how it ended. He just playing games with it. So,
and also this, in general, I think this is also such a perfect use of Robert De Niro's talent, because there's not a lot of Louis Cypher scenes in this movie, but everyone has a major impact.
And the few scenes that he stole.
Yeah.
Like I said, to me, he had some of the best quotes. Like, the movie has good quotes, but Louis Cypher had the best quotes.
Yeah.
And for Robert De Niro to choose this character, because again, he was going to play. They wanted him to play Harry Angel, but he said, "Let me have this cameo as Louis Cypher," because there was more meat on the bones there. And plus, around the same time, he was filming Untouchable, so he probably didn't want to have too much conflict.
Yeah, and also you have prime Mickey Rourke in this, like before becoming like the caricature of himself, you have really still like the version he probably should have staged to be.
Coming off of 9.5 weeks with Kim Basinger.
Well, also like a hot movie. Also very visceral movie.
Very visceral.
Yeah.
But it harkens back to what Hollywood used to be in terms of being more creative and thinking outside the box with their films, as opposed to just rehashing and remaking everything. Movies like that just don't come along and disappear. No, they leave a lasting impact, just like Angel Heart. And Angel Heart is based on the novel, Fallen Angel by William Horsberg or Portberg. I don't want to butcher it more, but
sounds Scandinavian or Swedish.
But yeah, it is based on that novel. And I know when I read up on the information on the movie, he was very hands-on with it in terms of just being a part of the process, and he loved the changes that the director made to really fit the narrative of the story. Yeah,
also, this is really a novel that I want to read. Since the what is it? I don't know what the English name is, but the Fall du Mars, which the Ninth Gate is based on, it's my favorite novel of all times. And basically the whole movie is just one part of the book. The other part is not even anywhere touched in the movie, but for the movie it fits so well. I also would be really interested what is this book feels like differently, because the story is just so fantastic, and it's always good when the author himself, can also see, okay, hey, you did some changes and it really works, so that's great.
So after the whole thing with the doctor, because the doctor had pulled a gun and killed himself, Angel goes to Louis Cypher and reneges, but Louis Cypher ups the money, and Angel agrees, and he's gonna keep investigating. But the investigation leads him down to New Orleans, where he has to encounter people like Toots Sweet, Margaret, the girl that was involved with taking Johnny Favorite out the mental hospital along with her father, and Epiphany, played by Lisa Bonet. Now, these three characters play a central role in Harry's investigation.
And it's also a very crude joke on the Epiphany that Harry H. led later.
And the thing about it is, Harry was infatuated with her the moment he laid eyes on her.
Well, sometimes you feel attraction is the wrong kind of attraction.
And that right there was a red flag. He bro, you on the job. Don't get attracted to anything.
And first of all, I was 17, so I mean, it's the 50s, but
so right there.
Yeah, it's like bro, do the math. She could have been your daughter. Oh fuck, she was.
But again, and her ending, which we'll get into, was visceral as fuck when it
Yeah.
comes to how that scene played out, because it almost felt like
Yes, this is Harold Angel.
we'll get into it later when we talk about that.
Yes, in general, it's this movie is so dark, so perfectly dark, and it's when you when you really want to take revenge of somebody in the most cruelest of ways. I think there's not more. I think you can't go a lot darker than in this movie.
Well, one thing about Harry is when he was investigating Margaret, he automatically knew how she looked like. Like he had no picture of her, no
Yeah.
a facial scan of her, but yet he knew what she looked like. And again, when we get deeper into the film and we figure out who he is, repressed memories.
Yes.
And for him to figure out who she was without even knowing what she looked like just showed that the repressed memory that he had of her. And I like that he used the date of February 14th as that was Johnny Favorite's birthday.
Yeah.
But and she automatically like saw that he was up to some bullshit, and that he was nothing more than a private detective, and that ended that whole thing. But he was still able to get something out of it, even if it was nothing.
Yeah.
Just an interaction with her.
But yeah, absolutely. It's and this is like the detective work is so well done in this movie because it really takes itself time, and this movie doesn't rush anything, and I hate it when the movie rushes something. But this really embraces the occult, embraces the detective work. It knows exactly at which point you really get your twist in. This is just a perfectly structured movie, and also like the casting is even the small roles like Margaret, she really fits so well in this role, and of Lisa Bonet and
Ronnie McGee as Toot Sweets, who Ronnie
he's so good to Sweets, yeah.
is a legit blues musician. And the whole jazz blues musicians that they had in this movie really fitted perfectly for that era, because most of them played in that era in terms
Yeah,
of
and
the
that's
whole state.
because I mean this movie is from '87, and aren't we now basically we're further away now from '87 than '87 was from the 50 from '55. So it still was you still had the people that lived through that time, and they basically played their characters very age age correct. And I absolutely love, especially like in the club, the scenes, the music, so great. The rats in there, and then of course you had the voodoo stuff on the toilet.
The chickens. Harry does not like chickens.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought of was that episode of Real Ghostbusters where that guy hated chickens. He always hated chickens, and he wished chickens would go away. So Harry has a fear for chickens.
Yeah, and a lot of chickens in South, and I really like it also
when he went to investigate Toot Sweet at the bar, and he roughed him up in the bathroom. Somebody attacked him, and they left a chicken foot on the side.
Hey, Splash Page.
What up, Splash? So, like, immediately it's like you leaving something that Harry has a fear of. So they automatically know. And again, Louis Cypher alluded to this with the egg. And Harry's like, I got a thing against chickens. Like that's not my thing because the egg comes from the chickens. So you see that illusion that they know that Harry has this fear of chickens. So that's why when he go visit Epitome, there's chickens all around.
Yes. The scene was really good. Also, this scene that was when you really could feel like the heat.
Yeah, that southern heat.
That's how it was. Wow. And also, let's just say, this movie in 4K, especially with Lisa Bonet, and when she puts the water on and with the white T-shirt in 4K, highly recommend.
Excellent.
Excellent.
And so that leads to, well, I think he met Epiphany before the whole interrogation was Toots, because he followed
the graveyard, yeah.
Yeah, he followed Toots, and then you see the ritual.
Yeah.
And
which also is a very spicy scene.
The dancing and Toots there, enjoying it. And as a New Yorker, seeing shit like that, it'd be like, yeah, let me get the hell out of this town. It's safe for me. I'm a city boy. I ain't with this
yeah. And this is also because and I also really like, because he's like, do you believe it is? And I'm from New York. I don't believe it in this bullshit. Like he's like,
he's an atheist.
He's an atheist, but he will be confronted with facts.
So he confronts Toots again, and this is where we again. Harry does things, but doesn't kill him.
Steve.
Okay, I got it. Steve. Harry beats him up, but doesn't kill him. And then the next day, he's investigated by the Louisiana police saying, hey, Toots is dead. And the way they describe his death, it's like, damn. Harry didn't do it, but Favorite did. And the way they described his death, they cut off his dick and stuffed it
in his mouth.
He could not breathe.
That's like a Mexican cartel bullshit.
I was like, damn. Like, this movie done went from dark to super dark with that type of death. Why you gotta do Toots like that? All he was a musician.
Yeah.
But he played a part in the whole thing with Johnny Favorite.
And funny enough, everybody that was involved with Johnny Favorite's disappearance is mysteriously dying.
Loose ends.
And because some might have a dick cut off, others their heart out.
Yes, because when he went back to Margaret to get some more answers, he found her dead with her stomach cut open and her heart removed, or her chest cut open and her heart removed. And I'm like, damn. The heart just sitting right there. And
great scene.
The heart plays a part in the reveal, the twist.
Mm-hmm.
So Harry is starting to lose. All he's got now is Epiphany. And again, it goes back to what I said about, he saw her and he was infatuated by her. At least
so, and did an immediate connection.
But, sometimes repressed memories of another person is coming out. And Harry doesn't realize it.
Well, his repressed memory, he chissed out.
Yeah. So, he gets into it with her. And this is where I have a problem with, the system with the whole scene that they have. And when he submitted it to the cinematic, the MPAA, they like, oh no, this scene is too much. You need to trim it out. And when you really watch the unrated scene, it's like 10 seconds. Really? You have to trim out 10 seconds?
It's sometimes I think it's, especially with the cutting thing, is all about arguing and compromises. As soon as sometimes it's very silly, and especially I think when a sex scene is important to the plot.
Super important
because this is the huge mindfuck, literally.
And I said last week, the scene is great in adult eyes, but I remember watching it as a young. That was like I ain't never been turned off by a scene because it epitomizes what Johnny Favorite is an evil,
Yes.
sadistic person. In that sex scene, you got blood dripping down on them.
Mm-hmm.
You got flashbacks of certain scenes, especially during the Times Square where, they
Yeah.
abducted the young man. And the scene almost has a borderline rape feel to it.
It feels very, this scene. Uh, that's the thing. It is shot like from the angles and everything in a very erotic way,
Yeah.
but then you also have this, like with the blood dripping and everything. You have this sense of it's eerie. There's something about it is there's something about this wrong. This is like if you would have sex in the uncanny valley, this would be it, but not in a way that it looks wrong in terms of cinematically. No, it's in a way that it there's something that feels wrong in a moral way, and this is exactly what it is because as we found out later, do we already come to the yeah, as we find out, it's of course. I mean, that Louis Cypher is Lucifer. I think that is like something that is like a fake plot twist. Right from the beginning, you can make out like a Louis Cypher, Lucifer.
Yeah.
Probably the devil sent him on a mission. However, like this is like the fake twist because you would think this is the twist that Robert De Niro's character is Lucifer. No, the real twist is that he sent him a mission to find himself because Johnny Liebling adopted like the young hairy angel from the Victory Day Parade after the Second World War in New York, and he put his soul into his body. So basically, he tried to escape the devil's, like the devils do with, hey, if I put my soul into another human being, the devil can't find me.
That's what he thought.
That's what he thought, but the devil is an evil motherfucker, and he's not just like, hey, I found you, I'm gonna take it. There's no, I found it. I'm gonna send you on a mission to find it yourself for me.
Yes.
And on the way, I will make you kill everybody that was involved in helping you to get your soul out.
And
also we take everything away from you that you love.
and I love the subtleties of every time he gets on the elevator.
Yes, because also like this is also a movie that you really want to watch until the credits are done. There's not an end credit scene, but the end credits are basically always with an elevator going down, and you know where the elevator is going.
Oh yeah, straight down.
Straight to hell, baby.
And throughout the film, like he's being attacked by these outsiders. Not really outsiders, but people within the town. And one of the people who beat him up is, a part of Stocco Fonto, who was Margaret's father.
Yeah, and who is a true believer in Satan.
Yeah, Ethan Kruzman is the character's name. I said the actor's name.
Yeah,
but I love his part because that's where it reached a boiling point. Literally a boiling point. Hot boiling gumbo. But that's where we get the whole explanation of who Johnny Favorite really is.
Exactly.
And who Harry Angel is.
And the powers. And he was saying, he witnessed it. He saw it. He saw him summoning the devil.
Yeah, and what up, Jeff? Yeah, and the way the music in the background played really elevates and heightens that sense of terror that you're hearing from this man.
Yeah.
And even his facials when he looked at Harry and he's like, "Oh my God, that's Johnny Favorite," without saying it.
Yeah.
Oh, the acting was on point with that whole scene.
Absolutely.
And I love Harry chipping away at the ice.
Yeah, in the background.
Yeah, he's just chipping away at it while he's trying to get answers.
Which I absolutely love, because it's also this wonderful play. It's like, is he gonna kill with the ice pick? But it's the exact opposite. It's like drowning him in the gumbo, in a burning hot gumbo.
And all of Johnny Favorite's kills, you don't see it, but you know that he's doing it without. And Harry's like, "I didn't kill him. I didn't do it." No, it's Johnny Favorite's doing it, and you just not realize it. Because
yes,
you're still, your memory of Harry is, "Oh, I left the room," but Johnny Favorite, the one that killed him, and just reassume Harry.
And he literally left a room inside himself, because that's when Johnny Favorite is taking over. Yeah.
And another thing is, every time he looks himself in the mirror. That was another one of the quotes that Robert, that was a great quote. The reflection, you see it straight in your eyes, and it's like you're looking at yourself and not even realizing that you are who you're looking for.
I know, it's and mirrors are, there's also what is also, of course, like an old mythos, and oh no, not for that price.
But yeah, every time, like after the sex scene with Epiphany, he broke the mirror with his fist, because he's not realizing that that's Johnny Favorite that he broke, but it's more of himself.
Yeah, and like I'm totally an agnostic, but let's just say I'm never looking myself in the eye in a mirror. It's just something creepy about mirrors.
And it's like, from the beginning of the movie to the end, you see Harry Angel, his character and his personality is deteriorating little by little. What up, Seawood?
Hey, Seawood. Yeah.
And you get to that reveal.
In general, every scene is pure perfection in this movie. Like you could really analyze every scene and can just be in awe of it. And a lot of people love this movie, but I don't think it's regarded as the masterpiece that it is.
And it's funny when you look at some of the criticism it got when it first came out. I'm like, do you people really understand movies? Like, they try and say that the plot is convoluted, it's too much exposition, and all this stuff. Like, the acting is great, but the movie is not. I'm like, what the fuck did y'all watch?
Yeah,
this is like a movie that you can't just watch once and do a review on. You have to watch it multiple times to get the whole picture of it before you break it down.
This movie is magic, and I mean, on the one hand, it's maybe good that it was not that successful, so maybe we are saved of anybody doing a remake of it.
I don't know, man. They talked about wanting to do one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but luckily that one didn't went through. But yeah, I think this movie as it is, it's perfect.
Yeah, I love the film the way it is.
Yeah.
And of course, it came out in '87. There's a lot more to discuss about it. Like I said, the whole thing with the sex scene and the death of the characters. Like, we talked about Margaret but Epiphany's death and the ending to her. It's like Johnny Favorite just screwed her to death.
Yes.
And that's why that sex scene is a bit rough to watch, because it literally feels like he's like.
Because the first time we see it, we only see it through the eyes of Harry Angel.
Yeah.
But of course, later we are getting like the missing parts, and especially when he comes back, the police is always there, which also are not the nicest policemen in the 50s. But when they ask her like, and then who is she? And then he's looking at her like, she's my daughter.
Crazy.
And this this scene
And the
is so.
other officer brings out the kid, the
Yeah.
grandson, and we saw Lucifer
Hmm.
did the eyes pointing at going straight to hell. The baby did the same thing.
It's
And it's like that is such a creepy way to end the film.
That's the straight from Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Same eyes.
Same eyes.
But that is such a creepy way to end the film, along with him going down the elevator straight to hell.
Because it's like we're going for this, and it's like, yeah, no.
Straight to hell.
Straight to hell. And
I've watched this movie twice because of how good it is.
I still have to watch it. I wanted to watch it with the audio commentary, but I didn't have time again to watch it again with the audio commentary. But I'm still gonna watch it with audio commentary in the future. It's this movie it's just a mood, and I think it portrays the setting of the 50s in New York and in the South so perfectly that I think that you can also, as an outsider, like, you get really a grasp on it.
Yeah, and I love the little jabs it has at religion.
Yeah.
The beginning part with the pastor and his church, and he talking about, wow, driving around in a nice Cadillac and all that stuff, but you guys gonna give me money, and then everybody holding up their cash, ready to put in the donut. I was like, God, that's so typical.
Which is also cool, because also, like, you can also think what I love with the Japan religion is the devil was able to go into the church.
Yeah, exactly. He even asked him what he was sitting in the Catholic Church when they had the meet,
and when he's cursing,
like Harry was cursing and stuff like, shh,
no profanity, like.
And like, see, that just shows you that the devil can go any way he wants.
And I also think what it really shows, in there is, because the devil, of course, is also, he's jealous of the humans, so he doesn't like the humans, but he still has love for God, like within the Christian mythology, because he basically did the whole revolution because of love.
And you know what just popped in my mind? We're gonna do this next week. We're gonna talk End of Days.
End of Days next week, yeah. Okay.
We're gonna talk End of Days. Since the whole devil thing, we're gonna bring Arnie into the whole picture.
Yeah, we're going from a very subtle Lucifer to the devil who pisses fire.
back to back weeks of Satan. But yeah, like,
and the week after, I would love to do a Giallo. Since I just bought the soundtrack, and I love Goblin, and Deep Red is also one of my favorite Argento movies. It's like, hey, we could talk Deep Red or Profondo Rosso.
I'm down for it.
Nice.
Hope I can find it.
That one shouldn't
some movies I can find, and some movies is like, oh, man.
But I think that Deep Red is one of the most popular Argento movies. That one is out there.
Yeah, but yeah, Angel Heart though. Everything about this movie is great. Even the unsettling sex scene, to me, it fits the story, and it plays a big role in especially the ending into who Johnny Favorite really is.
Yeah, it's with the Ninth Gate. It's the gold standard of occult thrillers.
Yes, and occult witchcraft. A lot of, because especially it's set in New Orleans, so you think voodooism.
However,
So it really like checked all those boxes for a great noir horror film.
Yeah, and what I love the most is when there's no back out. No, there is supernatural, and it is portrayed really in a way that is everything occult should be dangerous, should be scary, should be eerie, should be portrayed as not to mess with, and this movie does this perfectly. It's not laughable. There's no silliness in it, and And this art of movie making seems to be a little bit lost nowadays. So I really wish we could still get such fantastic occult thrillers, but I haven't seen one lately. I would laugh if there would be one. And yeah, but the good thing is I can always rewatch Angel Heart, since even though there's a twist, the movie still works. And it works even better, when you watch it in the beginning and you know the twist, and you're basically, because it's like then you watch it from different eyes, then you're basically basically on par with the devil himself.
but the beauty about this film is when you watch it the first time and you see the twist, it makes you rewatch it again to see the clues leading up to the twist.
Yes.
And that's where I feel like the reviewers of the critics of the film that bashed it didn't get. They watched it once, they went straight to typing up their review, and that was it. Instead of giving it a second rewatch and figuring out the clues of how they narrated and weave all these stories to get to that twist. Because once you really understand the plot and how the structure of the story is, then the movie becomes much, much better.
Absolutely, and this is also a movie that makes you fall in love with the medium.
Yeah. It makes you really appreciate what we get from these actors, these directors, the producers, the cinematographers, the music composers. Like, this movie is unsettling as fuck, but it is a great film.
And also a huge shout out to everybody who was involved with props and on the set. Since when you watch it in 4K, you can really read like the newspaper like in the background. You can see the pictures in the background. You can see the doctor, what is like on flasks and everything. And somebody put their heart and soul into these little details, not knowing that in the future there's going to be a technology that you can really see everything. And this, this dedication to this art, when you know that the audience, when you don't know that if the audience will can see this in the future, but you really want to craft this world so the actors on set can really dive into the roles. And yeah, it's like this movie just did a perfect job with it.
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes 4K shows some flaws that are there, but that never were intended for the audience to see. But when you have like a movie like this, then 4K makes a fantastic movie even better because it elevates it because it shows you what the people thought they're like on set.
Yeah, this movie is fantastic, man. I can't recommend it enough. I'm glad we was able to finally discuss it, and I definitely will watch it a third time because that's how good the film is.
Yeah, and it's a movie for me. It's a movie that I watch yearly, especially for the beginning like of Halloween season. It's for me. I always like to rewatch my favorite occult thrillers. Also, this year we gotta have to talk the Ninth Gate.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Adding it to the list. So, do you got anything to share? Because I know I got something to share.
This week not, and my new comic books for next month should arrive next week. I only got a shitload of tapes today for Dungeon Sim and stuff.
Man, cassette tapes is on the comeback, man.
Yeah, it's on the comeback, especially like within like the metal and Dungeon Sim genre. But otherwise, no new comics to share.
All right, so I got something special to share. Let me. I got a package today. I already opened it, but I didn't look inside. And this package is from Daymares, and it was from Comics for Kids. His giveaway on the Comics Will Break Your Heart. The whole thing with her. Because I had donated some money. I try and donate once a month, and
also of course, get well soon, and I.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not because I wrote her today. because we're both are big Dune fans, and I also just got this.
Man, I can't wait.
Yeah, I just got this Dungeon Synth tape of Lancelot, which is of course a play on a tune, and it's based on Tune Messiah. So, and I got also like another free code, so I of course sent her the code because she's also really in love with the whole world of Frank Herbert. So let's hope to many more decades where she can enjoy it.
Alright, so again, I won this. And first of all, I didn't know I was involved with John's Comic Book Kid giveaway because I have not been on Instagram much at all. And I must have missed the post that he was doing the giveaway. So when he messaged me this past Sunday saying, "Are you Sean Mitchell?" Because I know your first name, but I don't know your last name. So I was like, yeah. So I was like,
usually when somebody asks you, "Are you first and last name?" is like, who wants to know?
Well, I know John knew my first name, but he didn't know my last name. And then I was like, I know I missed the live stream that he did on Saturday because I was out all day. I went and checked the live stream, and sure enough, on the last giveaway, I saw my name up there. So it was part of the Comic Break Your Heart giveaway. So I was like, yeah, I didn't even know I won. So
yeah,
he told me it was Damien's package, and Damien's reached out to me, got my address, and he shipped out the package. So these are the books that I got from the giveaway. First up, this is little Stormbreakers variant, Fantastic Four Sue Storm. X-Men. I don't know what this is, but it's a variant. The Amazing Mary Jane. Thor #2. Never seen this cover. This is pretty wicked here. Amazing Spider-Man #3. Commanders in Crisis #1. That's a lot of books, man. This is another Thor cover.
Someone in Mouse who probably got the whole print run.
Batman Who Laughs. Now this is interesting. Phantom Star Killer #1. It glows in the dark. I'll put that.
I think issue #1 was speculated like on a top 10 list.
Don't know what this is.
No idea.
Yeah. And of course the X-Men variant. He like Marvel books that I don't even buy. But he also sent a slab. I'm kind of. Let's see what this is.
Did it come with a heat gun? Die #1. 9/8. So again, thank you, Damien, for the gift. I can't say nothing bad about it. It's all went for a good. Let's just say, like, it doesn't matter if it would be like an empty box. Most important is it's for a fantastic cause.
Exactly.
And if when you donate, you don't really expect anything. The only thing so the only thing you really want is that the money reaches the person who needs it, especially the European always say, like, in this fucked up healthcare system that you have over there.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just happy, to continue to help Jen.
Yeah.
And donate.
I think
That's
the only good thing about a bad healthcare system is that it really shows how many people care about you when shit hits the fan.
Yeah. But that is all. So I'm glad we was able to make next week's movie choice, and then the week after that. So
perfect. Yeah.
No Comic Call crew this week. Hoping we come back next week because we gotta do part 2 with Rico. I already got another person that's wanting to join on that, so we gotta do part 2, and then of course another sequel with the Heroes After Dark. But other than that, we'll be back next week to talk End of Days. Some Schwarzenegger versus the Devil goodness.
Yeah. Thanks to Arnold, we survived the millennium. I mean, basically, if you get like a traveler's insurance,
but yeah, that is it. If y'all have not seen Angel Heart, make sure y'all check that film out.
Perfect movie, check it out.
This is your boy Sean and Vivi. We are signing off. Have a great weekend, y'all.
And we